Something like that?
Yes, I have around 8+ years of experience in Cognos and business objects and data services.
Okay.
Yeah, even right now I am working for a pharmaceutical company on Cognos. So
Okay.
maybe I am expecting my next project in Microstrategy and ClickView. So I would like to learn the tool before starting the project.
So, okay. So, where are you from? Are you from EST or which location?
I am from CST, but my client is in EST. So right now I am doing travel from Chicago to Boston on alternate week basis.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So let me just give you a background of myself. Like, you know, I have almost 12+ years of experience. I've been in training, like, you know, corporate classroom and other trainings. I do give for MicroStrategy, ClickView, and other BI tools. So, and I've been giving almost from 8 years now. So I give it to all throughout world. Let's start about this. Like, do you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm able to see that white screen.
Yeah. So I just want to give you a background of, it's a notepad, nothing about it. So I just want to give you a background, like, you know, what are the prerequisites which you need to know before you getting into the BI part. But I don't think you require, because you're already working on Cognos and BIOS. You will be knowing everything about data warehousing concepts and SQL stuff. I just give it for any other person. So we can skip that particular part, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
So let me just jump into MicroStrategy part. So till April 2010, we were using 8 version of MicroStrategy, and till then it was purely a roll-up tool. It's a purely a relational online analytical processing tool, 8 version. The 9 version got installed, like, you know, it was introduced into the market. It was with a essence of MOLAP functionality, and where you can say with a roll-up and MOLAP, you can say to some extent MicroStrategy is a FOLAP tool. Okay. So and the roles and responsibilities in MicroStrategy would be the same like any other tool, like the traditional tools BIOS and Cognos. You have administrator, you have architect, you have developer. Okay. So unlike MicroStrategy, is you know, probably it's a costly tool when you compare with any other BI tool in the market. And the other thing is, here in MicroStrategy, it does not deal with component licenses. It deals with the user licenses here completely. Unlike, like, you know, if you have a BIOS, you need to have for dashboarding, you need to have a different component. For reporting, you need to have a different component, right?
Yeah.
So you need to purchase a license separately. But here you get everything, but it costs on the license of the users. Like how many, like, you know, architects, how many administrators, how many developers, and how many power users you have. Based on that, it will be like, you know, charged. And let me just talk about the components here. We do have a lot of components in MicroStrategy as well, and you will be getting everything when you purchase a license. Like, you know, the basic thing would be desktop and web.
Okay.
So out of the 3 roles, like, you know, the administrator by default will have access to all the components in MicroStrategy, whereas architect and developer will be only working on desktop and web. Desktop is something like a software which you have a client version in your machine, okay, where you build everything, like, you know, start right from the tables and views pulled into your environment, MicroStrategy, building a data model in MicroStrategy, designing a semantic layer, then building a reports and all those objects which are required to build a report and dashboard and cubes and other concepts, you know. So everything you do it in the desktop. Then finally you give your application to your end user using a URL, web URL. So before giving it, you need to do the testing in the web, and you can create some extent reports and dashboards also in the web. Okay.
Okay.
So I can distribute the work in with these two things, like, you know, saying 80% of the work is done in desktop, the remaining 20% I can say in the web. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have other components like intelligent server. I can say this is the heart of MicroStrategy. Okay.
Okay.
So this is where the 3-tier, 4-tier, and 5-tier environments come into picture. Okay. Narrowcast server. This particular thing is used for like, you know, let's say for example you created a report. You need to send 100 reports to 1,000 users at a time. You need to schedule them. You know, it's kind of a publisher, you know. So you can schedule, subscribe, and you can send it in different formats and with for a different devices, like, you know, you can send it through email, you can send it through pager, you can send it to mobile using Narrowcast server. But the latest version what we are using, like, you know, it's almost 9.3 version. So in 9 version, you have a concept called distribution services. Okay, that will be available in desktop directly, and it will also do the same thing what you do with the Narrowcast server. But the only difference is you do it in a bulk here, you do it in a, like, you know, individually here. That's it. Okay. Here you have a limitation, like, you know, you can send it to some users 100 or 150 or 150 or something like that. Okay. Now, so you have some core admin components like command manager, enterprise manager, object manager, integrity manager. Then we have mobile, we have SDK, and before that we have Office. Let's talk about each and everything. So we have command manager. Whatever things you do in desktop or web, you can do everything in the command manager by writing script. Like you want to create a report, you can create a report writing a command or a script with a big syntax. You can do a lot of things. Whatever you can do in the desktop and web using GUI by using mouse, you can do it with scripts in command manager. But as MicroStrategy is a BI and GUI tool, you don't deal with scripting part here. So what things we do frequently? So we do a lot of things here. For example, let's say you need to create a user. Administrator will create a user in desktop by right clicking create user and give him a particular privilege to access few. Okay, if you want to create 100 users at a time, so we cannot right click 100 times. So you just write some script in an Excel and copy paste it in the command manager. Okay. Bulk creation. Same thing like bulk report execution. Okay.
Okay.
And you do few things like, you know, purging cache for objects, reports, elements, project, all those stuff. You can the same thing you can do it in the desktop. You can also do it from command manager. If your application is in a Unix environment, you can have MicroStrategy in Unix and Windows as well. Okay, on the Linux as well. So if you have it, people prefer to do it in command manager, like, you know, user management stuff, you know, alter privileges and all those things. You start and stop the intelligent server from here. Okay, and you can also do it from the desktop. Normally you will see somewhere here. I don't have it right now, so you will be seeing here. You can start and stop it, or else you go to the services of your control panel services. You can do it from there or from the command manager also. Okay.
Okay. Pawan?
Yes.
I have a question. Here you're saying that if we want to create users on bulk basis, then we'll go for command manager, right? By writing some script.
Yeah.
Suppose if you want to okay, let us assume we have already created 100 users by using Command Manager.
Okay.
And how can we provide appropriate authentication or privileges to those 100 users? Can we do this by using Command Manager, or do we need to go to GUI to provide the privileges?
We can do both the places. The easiest way of doing is in the desktop by GUI. Like, first you need to create security roles, proper security roles. Then you need to define as per your company standards, you create the security roles. Then you create groups. Then you create the users. You can do all these three activities in the Command Manager, also in the desktop, but people easily do it in the desktop. And when there is a bulk stuff, you do it in the Command Manager instead of right clicking and creating 100 users 100 times, and doing it will take a lot of time. Instead of that, you just write a script and execute it in Command Manager. It will be easy stuff. Most of the people, this is a one-time activity, let me tell you. So you don't create every day 100 users, right?
Yes.
So it's a one-time activity. Very slowly you can start a project and you keep on adding slowly, then use the desktop. If you need to create 100 users at a time, it's better option is to deal with Command Manager rather than desktop.
Yeah, just for creating users, we will go to Command Manager, but providing the privileges, then we need to go for a GUI, right?
Yeah, you can do it in here also. For individual users, if you want, you can do it here. For a group also, you can do it here. It will be easy for you to mouse in the desktop. So you can use both the things. But it depends. People use both the things. Sometimes they do it in desktop, sometimes they do it in Command Manager.
Okay.
Okay, because most of the people are divided into groups, right? There will be in some kind of group. So you can do at a group level security or a user level security. You can do anyways. It's not like the security is restricted to one layer. You can do a row level security also here. Coming to Intelligent Enterprise Manager, so this particular component used not very rarely, very frequently use it. It's something like you look for logs and audit purpose it is used actually. When I say that, let's say for example, how many reports were deleted by Pawan in last 3 days? How many reports were created by Ravi in last 6 months? How many valid users are available in my project? Because most of the people may move out of project or they may out of company, but still their user will be activated. That's the main problem, because everything, the cost is based on licenses, right? Here.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that particular thing as well. And how, let's say some people have deleted something. Those things also you can capture here in the Enterprise Manager. Okay? So apart from this, you don't deal with anything with the Enterprise Manager. This is only used for these kind of things, You need to get the count of users and other things, you can get it from here. Next, Object Manager. So Edwin will spend a lot of his time here. So as you know, we have a dev, QA and production environment normally in real time, right? So in these 3 environments, like you have started a new project and you need to build everything in dev and move to QA and move to production. So to migrate all these objects, you use Object Manager.
Okay.
It's a very easy task, but you need to do it people do it very frequently. Depends on the team and projects handling, how frequently they do it. It depends actually. Okay. So apart from this, the best thing in MicroStrategy, most of the tools have the same thing. The best thing in MicroStrategy is you do a particular task with particular component. Apart from migration, you don't do anything in Object Manager. Remember. Okay.
So in Object Manager, only thing we can do is migration. That's it, right?
Apart from migration, you don't use Object Manager at all.
Okay.
Apart from the audits and logs and other information, you don't deal with Enterprise Manager at all. And the same thing with Integrity Manager. This is very, very rarely used component. People don't use it frequently, let me tell you, unless like when they are moving, upgrading a version of MicroStrategy, or some kind of issues between two reports, two projects, from dev to QA version, it's not matching, something like that. We use this. This is used to compare two projects, reports, or baseline projects, baseline reports as well. It's used for testing purpose actually. You have two reports, one is in dev and one is in QA. So, but you're getting data in dev and you're not getting data in QA, or some object is having some problem. So, identify these two things, you can use the integrity manager. Okay.
Okay.
But people, they don't use it because they do have a lot of techniques, but there will be a QA team. Once your development is done, they write the test cases, they execute each and every test case, MicroStrategy, SQL generated, they use it. So there is a traditional format, people use it. But as I told you, any version migrations, anything like that, most of the times people use the integrity manager. Apart from that, they don't use the integrity manager. Sorry?
Okay. Can we do the data validation here? Let us assume right now the MicroStrategy version is 9.3.
Okay.
Let us say any client is having MicroStrategy 9.1 and they will try to upgrade the version to 9.3. Then they need to migrate all the existing packages or reports or anything, right? Data source, anything to 9.3. So after migration, if they want to check the data, then how do they validate the data? They need to open both the reports in single machine to compare manually, or can we use this integrity manager to compare both the versions?
Integrity manager, you cannot compare two different versions of applications. It's something you need to manually do it, and you can have that. That's what, 9.3 version and 9.2 version, these two cannot be in one particular server, right?
Yes.
That is a different one, this is a different one. So you cannot have that. That's not my intention of saying that. So what I'm trying to say is, you have an application. Let's say, for example, you have a development environment in 9.3. You have QA environment, production environment. You have a set of reports, or a particular report with 10 attributes and 20 metrics. Same report was migrated to QA. So there was something like, there was a extra joining happening in QA, or some kind of error getting, you're getting data, but there is some kind of a mismatch within the SQL it's generating, or mismatch it between some kind of things. Let's say, for example, you have a compound attribute, or you have a nested prompt. So you used in dev, it was working fine. When you move to QA, it's not working. It's showing some other result. It's not failing completely. Because if it is fails completely, it's a different approach to handle it, right? So it's not failing it. So you need to identify what exactly the problem. So using this component, you can easily identify it. But most of the people, when the version migration happens, they run these reports in the previous version, this report in the previous version, they manually match it.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay. So you can use a Toad for comparing a SQL or some other applications, right? So.
Okay. Yeah. Why I am asking this question is, in Cognos we have a separate tool to validate the data. Suppose if you are migrating from one version to another version, then you can install that tool and you can configure the tool for the different servers, for like a lower version and higher version. Then you can import the same report or package, anything, then you can validate. If you run that job, then automatically it will validate the data and everything, and it will give the
I understand. Here, actually, if you have a lower version application, you can carry that metadata and assign it to the new version application. If you have that metadata, you can open the same reports in the new version. You can easily test it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You can have that metadata assign it to a new one, so you can get it. MicroStrategy earlier used to support only Apple and BlackBerry stuff. These days, it's also supporting Androids. If you have an iPhone, just have install, download an app, MicroStrategy app, and we can look at that as well. So we have Office.
In my personal iPhone, can I install the MicroStrategy app?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never tried. Okay.
Okay. So I can say Office is something like MS Office. You can have reports in PPT, Excel, Word, HTML, MX, PDF, all kind of stuff. All this information you can get it from the desktop directly. You can export all the reports in all these different versions, all these different stuff outputs. But the only thing in Office is you can have a pivoting here. You cannot have directly in desktop. That's a limitation in desktop. You can have the Office. But for pivoting, people don't even open, like, most of the clients, they don't deal with Office at all, because everything they get it in desktop. Why to have the component extra, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reason they don't deal with that. So the other last one is, which I am not going to cover at all, because this is used for customization. I think you know about it.
So is this SDK is built upon Java? What is the basic platform for MicroStrategy?
Yeah, I'm coming there. So it deals with Java and .NET.
So Java and .NET both, okay.
Okay, it deals with both. You can use any other programming as well, in fact. It deals most of the time, with Java and .NET. Using some APIs, you can also handle these particular things. There are predefined APIs. If you want, you can have a look at that as well. Okay.
So can I implement the SDK by using Java or .NET both in MicroStrategy?
It depends. What is the web server you're using? Is it a JavaScript or ASP? It depends on that particular thing. You will need to decide. Most of the evaluation versions which people are using learn are ASP part. So So, but depends. I'm using my company. I'm using a Java stuff. So
I think okay.
JavaScript. So. So we can deal with both the things.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is about components. Coming to architecture, you have 2-tier, you have 3-tier, 4-tier, 5-tier. Hello?
Silence. 4 days.
Okay, so the 2-tier architecture is what you call it as a direct connection. So you use it for a practice or some POCs. So here the database is connected to MicroStrategy desktop. You run the report, you get it from the database, right? So the 3-tier environment is something like, which talks about intelligent server. Okay, it is an intermediate layer between the database and desktop. So when you run a particular report, it goes to intelligent server, look for a cache. If you have that, it pulls the data from the cache if you have already executed that particular report. If not, it goes to a SQL engine. Okay, and MicroStrategy generates lot of passes in each and every report based on the objects what you are using in that. All these SQLs will be sent to query engine, and this particular query, the whole package, will send to database, execute there, and pull the data result into query engine again. From there it goes to desktop. Okay. If you are having any calculations in MicroStrategy, the metric calculations on the fly or OLAP functions, all these things, these are handled at analytical engine level. Okay. So from query engine you goes to analytical engine. From there you put it in the desktop. You show it to the data in the desktop. the same thing, whatever we did here, everything will be done with desktop and web as well. Okay? The same thing will be done in the web as well. Got it? So the last one would be the narrowcast server. As I told you, this particular thing is used to distribute the data in different devices and send it to your end users based on the requirement. Okay, based on different formats of the requirement. So this is how it deals with this particular one. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let me have all these things in the chat box so that I can remove all this stuff. Now, the very important topic and what are the concepts I am going to cover in MicroStrategy are from here. So till now you have just seen the overview of what are the things available in MicroStrategy and what are the stuff. So we do have different objects in MicroStrategy. One is configuration object, which is handled by administrator, and whatever the roles and responsibilities are defined in this way, and we'll be covering all these concepts. Okay. So first thing what we'll be seeing is we'll see how to install MicroStrategy, how to create project source, then how to create project, and before these two things, once the installation is completed, we'll be working on metadata creation, then other junk stuff like ODBC and database instance. Okay. Next, we'll be talking about duplication of the project. After this, we'll be talking about user management and all admin components. The core admin components, what I told you in the earlier page, like command manager, object manager, enterprise manager, we'll be dealing with all those stuff here. Okay. Now, we do have schema objects. These are handled by architect. So here, what we do, we just once the project is created, metadata and database instance is provided to us. What we'll be doing, we'll be pulling the tables into MicroStrategy environment, or views or tables, materialized views, whatever it may be. Pull into MicroStrategy environment. Based on that, you create attributes from dimension table, facts from fact table, and you create hierarchies, you create transformations, and if there is any partition mapping at warehouse level, you deal with partition mapping in MicroStrategy as well. Okay. So there are a lot of different types of attributes, like 4 types of attributes, 2 to 3 different types of facts, 2 types of hierarchies, 2 types of transformations. Okay. Once you build this design of the project or semantic layer in MicroStrategy, you deal with public objects. These are also called application objects, and these are handled by developers. Now here you start with consolidation if requires. It's nothing but a collection of attribute elements. Then you talk about filters. I can say there are almost 4 to 5 filters types. You have custom groups for banding and other stuff. You deal with this. It's nothing but a collection of filters. Then you deal with prompts, and these are almost 7 types of prompts. You deal with very important topic for MicroStrategy or any other BI. You deal with metrics, and these are 4 types. Next, you talk about reports, different types. You talk about intelligent cube, very important concept these days. You have data mart report. You have documents, dashboards, and dynamic dashboards. Okay. then you have drills and templates. These are the concepts we're going to talk and in detail, probably like, what are the required thing in real-time scenarios or whatever. So this is what the concepts we have in MicroStrategy, and we'll be talking about all these concepts. Any questions?
Nothing much, Con. So here we are all covering like development part, administration part, and installation, right?
So these are developer part, these are architect part, these are administration part.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So how many classes it may take to cover all these things?
Actually, that's what I was talking to Karthik actually. So normally I do take MicroStrategy in 3 days, like, talking almost 4 or 5 hours per day. And, normally I take 1 hour per day in a regular batch. So it may go to 16 to 20 hours. So, but I'm going to take more on the weekends. I just want to close before 30th because I'll be out of town, out of country in fact. April 30th. Yeah.
Then we have around 10 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. In 10 days, then how do you want to make it? Like
I'll take more on the weekends, like, couple of hours, at least 2 to 3 hours. Because let me tell you, if a layman, like, who don't even know about VR or data warehousing, he can understand MicroStrategy part in, like, at a max of 15 hours.
Okay.
Easily. Because let me tell you, once we are done with schema part, I don't think it will be a big challenge for you to understand public objects. Because creating filters is the same thing what we do with any other BI tool.
Yeah.
Prompts are same thing, metrics are same thing, reports and dashboards. So these things I don't think you have much problem. So it talks about the schema objects is what the concern, and the administration part would be a little bit like installation, initial project creation. If you understand the navigation, how we are doing, I think it's not at all a challenge for you, I guess, because there are a couple of batches going on right now, and people are almost 80% is done with those people. So most of them were they're new to data warehousing. They were from different programming languages. So even they were able to understand easily. So I don't think for you it's a big challenge.
Okay. Okay, then let us assume if we start by this weekend, then we will be having 2 weekends before 30th.
Okay.
Right?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, this Saturday, Sunday, I'll be taking 3 hours. Next Saturday, Sunday, I'll be taking at least 4 hours or 3 hours. Or in between, I'll be taking, in between midweek also, I'll be taking 1 or 2 hours class.
Okay. So totally you may take up to like 5 days at max, right? 5 to 6 days maximum.
Yeah, it's not about days. Let's talk in hours probably. It will be like, 6 and 8, 14 and between 2, it would be 15 hours, 14 to 15 hours.
No, ours is fine, Pawan, but even if we have patience, then we can complete in 1 day, that 16 hours. That wouldn't be any problem. But what I am thinking is, if you say 4 hours, then at least I need some time to get practice, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you.
What you are saying is after 30th, he will not be available. Right?
Yeah.
So you will complete all the theoretical part. Then while doing the practice, if I have any issue, any doubt or anything, there will be nobody.
So let me tell you one thing.
Solve the issue.
Let me tell you one thing. I'm not teaching this. I'm teaching almost from 8 years. The way I teach is, I'll not do it in my machine at all. Right from the installation, you will be working on your machine. I'll not do anything. That's how I teach, in fact, So you will pull the project into MicroStrategy. You will create tables. You will create attributes. Everything will be done by you. I will never touch anything. You understand? I don't even have MicroStrategy in my machine. I don't even install it. Okay? So you will be dealing everything, you will be doing practical thing. And again, let me tell you, I'm not running, I'm not going, I'm just going for 2 weeks. Understand? I'll be back.
Wow.
If you have any questions, you can always
Right.
send me a mail. You can always do whatever you have any questions, you can do it. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I need. So after 2 weeks, you will be available again.
No, probably you can say May 28th, I'll be available again. I can say 3 weeks. Let's say.
Okay. So after that, if I have any doubt, maybe after starting my actual project, if I have any issues or anything, I can contact you, right?
That's okay, no issues, because I do, people know from last 3-4 years they are contacting me. I do give a job support as well. I do give a lot of things,
Okay. So right now you are in PST, right?
I'm in EST.
You told that you are in PST.
No, man, I'm in EST. I do stay in North Carolina.
Okay. I don't know. Jana, he told that you are in PST. Okay then.
I'm not sure what did he say, but I stay in Raleigh.
Carolina?
Yeah, Raleigh.
Raleigh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do deal with MicroStrategy, ClickView, SaaS.
Okay.
All the three all the three BI tools and the ETL and other stuff. I do deal with that.
So your total experience is into MicroStrategy and PQ, or do you have any other tools experience?
I do work with MicroStrategy. I did start with my career with Oracle ETL. My overall experience into DWBI. So I did work with Oracle, Teradata, MicroStrategy, ClickView, and SaaS.
Okay.
So yeah.
Mainly.
I did work with migration projects like from BIOS to MicroStrategy most of the time, and MicroStrategy to ClickView, and SaaS to MicroStrategy, and SaaS to ClickView.
But
so vice versa.
But migration from BO to MicroStrategy means it's developing from scratch only, right?
Most of the things are from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
replicating the same thing, like whatever you have in BIOS, the client has decided to move out of BIOS and getting to MicroStrategy, so do it everything scratch.
Yeah. Even I worked some projects, migration from BO to Cognos and SSIS to Cognos cubes. So even there also we need to complete from scratch.
Yeah. So because I do deal with a lot of BI tools like Spotfire, you might have heard about it probably.
Yes. Yeah. I heard about Spotfire.
Tabla and these components, I do deal with these stuff actually, because I do I do have a lot of batches going on for ClickView as well. I do deal with ClickView. Have you worked on ClickView anytime?
No, that's what even maybe in this project I need to work on both, I think, but I don't know how much percentage it is, MicroStrategy and ClickView both. So how much you charge for ClickView?
Sorry?
How much you charge for ClickView?
Myself, I charge for $500.
Okay.
Actually, I'm in the other class. Today I just skipped that class actually. I do have a ClickView batch going on, so I just skipped it. I just joined this one.
Okay, Pawan.
Any other questions?
Yeah, nothing much.
Okay. So let's talk to just let him know about this feedback, and we can based on that we can definitely go ahead. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Pawan.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.